It's because of the data, it's because of the systems.
Krishna worked for Google.
You need product managers, engineers, software who are actually coding and building that. I do not have any big dreams as such. I actually celebrate small wins.
Okay, guys, today I'm so happy because Krishna joined me and we wait for this interview for so long. Krishna worked for Google. It's very interesting to hear his story.
Firstly, thanks for doing this, Roman. I really appreciate trying to learn other people's stories. There are a lot of inspirations to draw from everybody's stories. So thanks for doing this and thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Myself, I'm Krishna Gunturu. I've been in the US for 17 years now. I came to the US for my master's degree. And right after master's, I landed with a job. And I've lived in 3 different states in the US. I lived in Oklahoma for 2 years. I lived in Dallas for like 4 years. And then I moved to California. And I've been there for like 13 years.
Then you moved to California?
And I just moved to Illinois, Chicago few weeks back.
You moved to California special for Google, or you work in some company, different companies?
Right. So from Dallas, I landed with a job at Cisco first. And I was there with Cisco for 3 years. And right after Cisco, fortunately, I landed with a job at Google.
Wow. What about, you said you work in Cisco, and before Cisco?
I was in a logistics company. Right after my master's degree in Oklahoma, I landed up with a job with Ryder Logistics, the trucking company.
It's huge.
It's
trucking,
a big
logistics, warehousing.
So they do all supply chain consulting. So I supported the warehousing engineering / consulting at Ryder. Then I moved to transportation consulting / engineering. And then I did some network analysis, network engineering for a few Fortune 500 companies. And I love logistics, man.
And Google, what part of marketing, sales, what part of the company?
That's a good question. I mean, so Google was literally, I would say, timing was right for me. And also the kind of variety of skill sets that I garnered over the years. Like I said, I did warehousing, I did transportation management, I did network analysis. And on top of that, with Cisco, I was doing supply chain systems. So physical logistics was Ryder. And then at Cisco, I was doing data / information logistics, right? The systems aspect. That led me to a job at Google. Google was, they started their Google Fiber, right? And they were looking for some reverse logistics engineer. Wow. I never did reverse logistics.
What do you mean reverse logistics?
Well,
interesting for me.
So yeah, reverse logistics is all about, it starts from the customers, right? Once you sell the product to the customers, if the customers have any problems with the product,
I got it.
They return it. What do you do with the returns, right? I mean, there is logistics involved, there is repair involved, there is warranty involved, there is service involved, there is putting back into the shelf involved, or there is scrap involved, right?
Oh.
So that value chain is called reverse logistics. Yes, it is.
Huge part.
And from a sustainability standpoint, reverse logistics actually plays a huge role.
Some people maybe don't know, but only Android, 3 billion people use Android system every day.
Yes.
It's a huge company with a lot of stuff which you need to resolve day by day.
Yeah. I think Android from a mobile standpoint, that's one of the biggest OS platforms Google has, and also from a browsing standpoint, Chrome has like 65% market share.
Yeah.
So yeah.
How many people manage direct reports to you?
So I'm an individual contributor.
Okay.
So to give you some context, there are not many managers at Google, right? I mean, there are managers, but typically how it works is, or what builds the culture at Google is mostly about how cross-functional you are.
Entrepreneurship style. Individual.
Well, entrepreneur style does exist. I mean, if you look at a product manager, for example, let's say somebody is building a Google Maps,
yes,
right? They are the product CEO.
Mm-hmm.
They are the entrepreneur for that specific product. But in order to build that product, you need product managers, you need engineers, software engineers who are actually coding and building that, and there are program managers who are like orchestrating things, because you have a vision, right? And you cannot sit with all the 10,000 people and make them do the work, right? So you have somebody called as program managers, right?
Okay.
So in my role as an individual contributor, my role, the current project that I'm working on is being a program manager. So I orchestrate engineering stuff and product management stuff to build our products. No direct reports, but I work with 40 plus engineers and about 10 to 15 product managers.
Wow. Krishna, what about school? Why you decide you want to go to Kellogg of all business schools, and why you decide you need this program? Or like you need an executive MBA or just MBA in general?
But I've always been dreamt of doing an executive MBA for sure, right? This has been on my mind for last 6 to 7 years. But with family growing, marriage, I always kept this thing in the back burner, and I said, okay, you know what, let's do it. And also my work was so demanding, I felt like there is no time for me to put into my education. So I kept postponing it, but then I realized, what, if not now, it's never gonna happen. So that was my motivation, why I took that leap and step towards MBA. Then your second question is about why Kellogg. I did a lot of research for this. For the last those 5-6 years, I've been looking at several universities and stuff for sure. Coming from the Bay Area, I did have a couple of options. Given my visa status and all that, I was like limited to certain. That list became shorter. For example, Stanford, they don't have executive programs. You either have to do a 2-year MBA or a 1-year MBA, right? You have to leave your job. In my case, I cannot afford that. And some universities are like for example, Haas, right? Berkeley. There are pros and cons. I have several friends who went there, and I interviewed them and learned quite a bit of the programs. What Kellogg, what I felt special about Kellogg was the approachability of the students itself. They slapped this tagline: high impact, low ego, right? These tags exist everywhere for every MBA colleges, but for Kellogg, that is something real, is what I felt, because I approached folks on LinkedIn asking about, hey, can you talk to me about your college? What do you think? This is my background. How do I fit there? Everybody was like, giving their genuine feedback.
Wow.
And I did it for other universities as well. I did not get that kind of reciprocation, and hence that was one reason. And the second reason, obviously, for Kellogg is the number one executive MBA program, at least 2022, and we have always been in the top 3. And I was like, what, Kellogg it is, and here I am.
Yeah. Is your most like excitement moment for this second quarter? What most you like in this school? Like some maybe moment, or in general, like for example, you so surprised, something surprised you, or you just had some moment when you figured out you 100% sure you did the right thing?
From an MBA standpoint, right? I think putting myself in this kind of a stressful environment. The reason why I say stressful, don't get me in a wrong way. It's both positive and negative, right? It is a lot to chew on. If you have a family, if you are in your mid-career, you have so much going on from a work perspective, so much going on in a family perspective, and the stuff that you learn, the assignments that we have here, those are not simple, small undertakings. These do take time. Second quarter was the time for me, was like, wow, this is actually hitting me. I'm reaching my threshold. What am I going to do? On top of that, I moved to Chicago in the second quarter. So I think this was a health check for me. Oh wow, okay, I can explore myself in this direction. There is a lot of stress that I can undergo. I can still prioritize things, and I can take them forward. and we are through the second quarter now. So I'm like, oh wow, okay.
You get,
That's my,
you get it.
yeah.
How you can inspire people? Because for you, same as for me, sometimes we don't see our like past win, like you achieve something, right? What you can recommend for young people? Because maybe people from Ukraine or from India or from US will watch and say like, oh, I dream to work for Google or own business, right? What do you recommend?
I think I don't go for the companies, right? We all have some ambitions towards certain companies and all that, but my emphasis has always been throughout my life continuous learning. Be curious, take opportunities where you can learn. For example, in my current situation, I'm not giving my 100%, but throughout my career, I've always taken Coursera courses, edX courses online, and I switched jobs. I mean, not jobs, switched functions
Directions.
within my realm of things, within the supply chain, for example, just because the curiosity drove me. For example, warehousing, it's all about four walls. After 2 years, I became curious. After doing, giving my 100% there, I became curious. What happens behind, outside of the four walls? It's 2 points, the transportation, right? Then, I did the optimizations, routing, and all that, and I was like, okay, what if I combine these 2 points, four walls, and at 100x scale, that becomes a network.
Yeah.
How is L'Oreal doing? How is Walmart operating with so many DCs, so many retail locations? That becomes a network. Trying to optimize that. So, and then after this, I became curious, okay, how are these physical processes running? It's because of the data, it's because of the systems. Then that became my curiosity. So then I took up a systems role where I learned, all the systems aspect. So my philosophy is be a continuous learner, and that path will take you where you want to be. It's just not Google. It is the place you want to be.
What about how you distress or after difficult days, because we all have stress, family, school,
That's true.
work, everything. What is your hobbies?
For me, after kids, my hobbies are, staying with them, taking them to the parks, making sure, they are enjoying every bit. They are my stress busters. After 10 days to 10 hours, 12 hours of work, once I just go there with my family, with my kids, just hugging them, that's my stress buster for sure.
What is your big dream?
Okay, big dream. I do not have any big dreams as such. I actually celebrate small wins. And for me, those wins look like, for example, in the next 6 months, I want to launch a small application, right? Especially after coming to the executive MBA, meeting all of you folks, I got inspired, and I had this idea for like 4 or 5 years now, and I never did anything about it. But now I'm taking that first step. You know what? Hey, this is my vision. I always dreamt about this.
It's a
and it
dream.
is solving some of the use cases that I see on a daily basis. Why not create that? So this is my personal thing that I do want to pursue. But at work, right? I mean, there's a big project going on. Try it, solve it. Those kind of small wins are my, I cherish them a lot.
Thank you so much, and you're a great person. Good luck.
Yeah. Thanks. Thanks a lot. Good luck.